Hebrews. This Prophets of Awakening. This is our men's advanced Bible class, 19th October 2021. What we're going to be dealing with later on is Egyptian secrets that's at the Vatican and how it correlates to the New Testament. With that being said, I want to ask everybody to like, share, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification button. Shalom and welcome to everyone. I want to let everybody know this is a non-Messianic channel, and that we deal with the Tanakh and the Torah. Tanakh is the Old Testament, and the Torah is the first 5 books of the Old Testament. So with that being said, we're going to go into our moment of silence, prayer, do a song, and then do a current event. Okay. Okay. As oh Lord, we come this day praising thee and worshiping thee for thy might and thy power and thy great understanding. O Lord, in times that you have foretold are upon us. Give us, O Lord, the knowledge to rightly divide thy words, that they are delivered in righteousness and truth. There's a great confusion among your inheritance, O Lord, now that you are awakening them. For I know we know, O Lord, that your hand is sure and that your hand is firm. And, O Lord, we need you so very much in these latter days. We will tarry and wait upon you, because there is none else besides you. You are our deliverer and our redeemer. Peace be on you. Okay. Somebody gonna read the song?
Yeah, that'll be me.
Okay.
I'm gonna read Psalm 121.
Okay.
A song of degrees. Okay. I will lift up my eyes into the hills from where cometh my help. My help cometh from the Lord, which made the heavens and the earth. He will not suffer thy foot to be moved. He that keepeth thee will not slumber. Behold, he that keepeth Israel shall neither slumber nor sleep. The Lord is thy keeper. The Lord is thy shade upon thy right hand. The sun shall not smite thee by day, nor the moon by night. The Lord shall preserve thee from all evil. He shall preserve thy soul. The Lord shall preserve thy going out and thy coming in from this time forth, and even forevermore.
Okay.
Reason I picked that verse 7. The Lord will preserve thee from all evil. He shall preserve thy soul. You know what we are facing today, with all this that's going on with the pokey and all that. You know, all the evil that's around us, he's going to shield us from it, man. Us that trust in him. And that verse 7 stuck out to me. He's going to protect us. He's going to shield us. He got us.
Okay.
It's assurance. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, Lamar, that verse that you pointed out there reminds me of Psalms 23:4, where it says, yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me. Thy rod and thy staff comfort me.
Man, that's
So
beautiful.
I relate verse
Yeah,
to that particular, to Psalms
yeah.
3 and 4, 23 and 4.
That's a
Right.
perfect precept. Yeah, love it.
Okay. Yeah. Anybody else got anything on that? Okay. Let's see what we got. Everybody got any current events? Some news in the news. Okay. Okay, I'm going to. I got a couple.
I'll say this real quick though, Leonard. I was
Yeah.
sorry to see Colin Powell pass away, but we do realize it was from complications of the shots. Uh,
Right.
they kind of don't want the family to speak on it. They're getting upset with the family for saying anything about it. But
Right.
yeah. But I was still sorry to see the brother pass away. Didn't agree
Right.
with all his politics and everything, but nonetheless, I hate to
Right.
see. He still was a man that didn't jump on any train just because he was part of a political party or whatnot.
Right.
So I respected him for that.
Right. Is there some? Mm. Yeah, I got this right here. So it's another virus out there yet again. It says, can you see that?
Yeah,
Yes, sir.
It says scientists are closely tracking a new variant spreading in the UK that could be 10% more infectious than Delta. It says scientists are closely tracking a new uh, jab called AY42, subtype of Delta. The data shows it may be 10% more infectious than Delta. And experts say cases are low outside the UK. Former FDA Chief Scott Gottlieb called for urgent research on the variant. Scientists worldwide are closely tracking the descendant of the highly infectious Delta variant that is spreading in the UK. At this it says England Public Health Authority said in a report on Friday that it was monitoring the subtype of the Delta variant called AY42, which has infected more and more people recently. Okay, then it says as of September 27th, 6% of UK's sequence tests were AY42. Public Health England, public health physician, I guess that he said in his report on Friday, adding that estimates could be imprecise because it was difficult for the sequence to sequence the various mutations. Okay, so they got another version of the variant out there. That shouldn't be no surprise. Okay.
Don't it seem like quite a few of these variants starts in the UK?
Yeah, I was getting ready to say that. It's got it seems like to me it's the UK and America was tied in together with the slave trade.
yeah. That's what
Yeah,
I was thinking.
that's a
Slave
good point.
trade.
Yeah.
Right, right. It is some.
Yep. That goes on too with that volcano in Spain, La Puma. You know, they had their hand in on the slave trade. Mm. Spain and Portugal.
Right, exactly. Right, exactly. Yeah,
Yep.
them Edomites, yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, I'm gonna play this right here. Let me see. I'll say that for later. Okay.
Every day, a new series of stock market crash warnings are making the headlines as more and more experts point out the growing similarities between today and the run-up to the Wall Street crash of 1929. The outlook is bleak. While inflation is accelerating at alarming rates, on the other side of the ocean, the Chinese property market collapse is triggering a cascade of systemic failures that are starting to affect the global market. Some call it China's Lehman crisis, but others argue it'll be even bigger, and it will compromise the global economic growth for years. Even the real estate giant itself recently warned about its growing financial difficulties. Evergrande alerted the global public that unprecedented problems are coming. The Chinese company is set to default on its debts, totaling a staggering $300 billion, which is likely to trigger a catastrophic financial chain reaction. But the truth is that the outlook has been bleak ever since the onset of the health crisis, when lockdowns were imposed and markets were simply halted all around the world. Governments engaged in loose monetary policies, and now they are trillions of dollars in debt. Since last year, experts have been sharing predictions that the stock market has been heading to the same fate as that great Wall Street crash of 1929. But bubble deniers have rapidly dismissed those forecasts, arguing that there would be a V-shaped economic rebound that never really arrived. Now, the latest analysis by experts this year has revealed worrying parallels with the events that led up to 1929 and today. According to Murray Klein's 2001 book, Rainbow's End, The Crash of 1929, several fundamentals of the previous crash can be applied today. In the book, he shows that 1 year before the crash, new listings on the New York Stock Exchange rose from 58 million shares in 1925 to 102 million in 1928. In 1929, the number of new listings hit record levels as a speculative frenzy swept across Wall Street. According to Will Daniel, an investment reporter at Business Insider, the book exposes startling similarities to today's euphoric markets. While there are many differences between the era of the 29 crash and the present day, the rise of new listings is a similarity that can't be denied, he wrote. Only in the first quarter of this year, the volume of initial public offerings, or IPOs, soared by...
Okay. Yeah, you notice how he said you got startling similarities, so because he saw the same playbook. Like I said, he got a blueprint on how to crash the economy and how to bring one up and how to crash. You're a pro at that.
And proceeds skyrocketed 271% year over year, according to the Ernst & Young Global IPO Trends, Quarter 1, 2021 report. The rise of special purpose acquisition companies, or SPACs, has certainly contributed to the boom in new listings. SPAC IPO issuance hit record-breaking levels in the first quarter of 2021, with 298 SPACs raising nearly $88 billion, according to data from ICR Capital. On the other hand, there has also been a major increase in the number of inexperienced investors and speculators. The same thing happened leading up to 1929, as Mr. Klein described in his book. To practiced eyes, they represented a new breed of gambler, lured to the market more by hope than experience, like vacationers at a casino trying their luck in a game owned by professionals. Suckers are born every minute. One goes, two come in. Win or lose, we get our commissions. Between 1928 and 1929, brokerage firms opened 599 new offices, and that has brought the total number of brokerage offices in New York to more than 1,600. just before the infamous Black Tuesday, more than double the number of operating firms in 1925. In a how-to article published at the same time by one female trader, the essence of that period was revealed. We went for the same reason that most of the other little pigs were going. That is, because we wanted to make some money quickly without working for it, she wrote. In 2021, a flood of new trading platforms emerged in app stores. Robinhood, E-Trade, Fidelity, just a few examples. They have been booming like never before. The Charles Schwab Corporation alone added an unprecedented number of 3.2 million new brokerage accounts just in the first quarter, much more than in all of 2020. Even Big Short investor Michael Burry has made a comeback to his Twitter account last week to warn that the current market boom is looking like the 2000s dot-com bubble and compares the current options trading frenzy to the widespread speculation that sparked the Great Depression in a tweet storm that has since been deleted. The Cyan Asset Management chief posted a screenshot of FinancialWeb.com stock chart. The extinct company behind Stock Detective and other financial information websites saw its share price plummet from a high of $28 to a fraction of a cent after the dot-com crash. A very common chart back in the day, Burry said. Looks familiar. The Cyan chief also pointed out similarities between the 15-year bull market that led to the 2000 crash to the run-up in stocks over the past 15 years. The huge amounts of government stimulus fueling market gains cannot last forever. In a fresh analysis published earlier this month, financial analyst Charles Hugh Smith described how the Fed's monetary policies have helped to create the biggest financial bubble in history, known as the everything bubble, which includes stocks, bonds, and housing. The expert says that now that liquidity has to stop propping up the markets, a massive bubble burst is just a matter of time. As a result of this vast expansion of the everything bubble, the entire economy is now dependent on this bubble never popping, as speculation is driving incomes and a wealth effect without precedent, as every participant feels newly empowered to borrow and spend more because their bubble wealth just keeps rocketing higher. The problem here is all speculative bubbles pop. And so the central bank's inflation of a speculative everything bubble has backed the entire economy into a corner from which there is no escape.
Is that something? Anybody got any comments on that? Say they got that predicted. You got all
Yeah, I agree.
right.
Yeah, I agree with you. Definitely got a playbook for it. You know,
Yeah,
he got rising interest rates along with rising prices in goods and services,
right,
and you got our supply chain that's been held up.
right,
So, you know, what more can happen? And then you got a pandemic going on.
right. Got all these
So
stresses. Is that
definitely got a
something?
playbook
At the
for it.
top, and only a few of them at the top that's really, making a killing off of it. But
Right.
they
And then when it bursts, they gonna make all the money off of that because they
right,
get money on both ends. Yeah.
right.
And
They'll bring the
company got
whole
to pop
country
that.
down.
Right.
Yep.
And this time it ain't just America. They got China in the pickle, Russia. They got all of them in the pickle. And this something.
Yep. That's
And
something.
this right here, this happening right now as we speak today. This here. Check it out. Okay, let me get it. Okay.
2021, and welcome to the Grand Supreme News Channel. Before I start, guys, give this video a big thumbs up and share this video. We got some breaking news updates coming out of California, And Chicago, nearly 40% of California state workers on prune juice despite Gavin order. More than 3,000 officers in Chicago, defying the prune juice order.
So you see the playbook, you see all that drama was going on in Australia and other countries. Now it's here.
Southwest Airlines workers protest, ESPN reporter leaving. Hey, do what you got to do, all right? Those in California, man, we are with you. We are with you. I know Sodom is looking crazy right now, all right? So 40% of California state workers, despite Gavin, following his orders. And then you have Chicago. And look, the thing about Chicago, Mayor Lori Lightfoot went to the game last night, the WNBA Finals. I didn't watch the game. I heard it was good. But here's the problem. She went to the game without mask. She broke her own law. And now she's getting mad. She's like, there's a lot of stuff going on here. The police are going against us and stuff like that. They are, they're rising and trying to get people into their side and this and that. Woman, silence, okay? Silence, because everything comes out of your mouth is just, just causing division. You went to a game. You didn't even wear a mask. You broke the number one rule, and then you talk about other people breaking laws. Mr. Gavin, wannabe Mac Daddy, all right? He's also mad because nobody's listening. And the airlines is, man, they're about to lose a lot of money. It's looking really bad. On top of that, we do have some more updates, breaking news. I heard there was a ransomware attack knocked some television station off the air. And Turkish and Muslim hackers take over the 45th website. We're going to see what's going on in these two. But, man, I'll tell you, a lot of stuff is taking place right now around the world. Lawlessness is striking. I heard Italy, there's some events going on in Italy. I mean, people just rising. People are fed up. People are just tired of all the stupidity going on. People are saying, can we just live our life? No. You take the juice, and then you can live your life.
So, when you come in. Okay. I'm going to play this here, then we're going to go into some little Q&A.
Hello and welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the channel. I wanted to get into something, concerning what's happening in the world right now. In case you hadn't noticed, we are experiencing a total system failure. The whole world is experiencing a total system failure. If you pay attention and you look.
Let me read something right quick. She just said the whole world total system failure. I'm gonna read this. This happened during the time of the 70 years was up in Babylon that Jeremiah had prophesied. Let me read it right quick. It's tell me if it ain't same playbook. Yeah. Okay. So Haggai chapter 2. Haggai chapter 2, I'm starting at verse 20. It says, again, and the word of the Lord came unto Haggai in the 4th and 20th day of the month, saying, speak to Zerubbabel, governor of Judah, saying, I will shake the heavens and the earth, right, the whole earth, and I will overthrow the thrones of kingdoms. I will destroy the strength of the kingdoms of the heathens, and I will overthrow their chariots, and those that ride in them, and the horses and their riders shall come down, everyone by the sword of his brother. In that day, said the Lord of hosts, will I take thee, O Zerubbabel, my servant, son of Sethel, says the Lord, and I will make thee a signet, for I have chosen thee, said the Lord of hosts. So it sounds like the same thing to me.
Look around.
Shaking it, man.
So much is happening that it is mind-blowing. It is literally mind-blowing. There was a report that airplanes are falling out of the sky. Airplanes falling out of the sky, y'all. One, they actually showed the flight pattern of this one pilot. They were trying to get in touch with him, telling him he needed to rise. He was descending into a residential area very fast, and they were telling him that he needs to redirect. They were telling him he needs to go in another direction, but he continued to descend. They were trying to get in touch with him, and he was flying erratically. And it is being stated that some of these pilots are having strokes in the air. There was a speculation around why they're having these strokes, and I'm not going to get into that right now for a number of different reasons. But there was speculation as to why they were having strokes in mid-air and just crashing in various areas. Again, some of which were in residential areas. So, in every way imaginable, not just in jobs and in natural disasters, but in just things in general, people getting sick, people getting the jab, some not getting it, but having the same outcome. There are a number of different things happening right now. The food is uncertain right now. Just people are not sure what they're going to have in the refrigerator 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 months from now. One thing I noticed, we recently went shopping, and I noticed that there were some very, very common things no longer on the shelves.
Okay. Any comments?
Man, them pilots, man. Them pilots. Hey, come on. We know what that is.
Okay. Is that something?
And these pilots talking about walking off the job.
Right. They
Yesterday,
canceled.
I saw where there was 1,000 flights canceled.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, that's all over. Yeah, that's all over.
Did you hear that? Did y'all hear about the? They told about the cops in Chicago, the 1,000 cops, but I heard they not gonna let them get their retirement unless they show proof of the jab. I don't know.
That's so.
That's gonna be a mess.
Oh yeah. It's like they intentionally trying to provoke everybody. Yeah. Ain't that so?
When I went to their website, I saw a number of different very common things that said out of stock, out of stock, out of stock. A whole page of out of stock merchandise. We are in the middle of a total system failure. They have built this thing up. They have inflated this bubble, and this bubble is about to burst. As a matter of fact, you know how a tire can have a slow leak? And then when it gets to the point where it can't take it anymore, it just drops down. Total system failure. You got people not wanting to go back to work. Companies giving sign-up bonuses for people to come and work. So it's like, not only is the system failing, but people are losing their minds. People are losing their drive and their ambition. Guess what? It's not all of us, though. Some people, they know, they see what time it is, and so they are acting and moving accordingly. But you have others who are giving up. You also have those who believe that this system failure is not happening, and so that they are going to be able to step back into their lives as it was 3 years ago. You have those too. You have those who are just totally oblivious to all of this that's happening, and they are just dwelling in la la land. When I look around and I see the things that are happening, I can't say that I'm troubled because it was prophesied. It's not like we didn't know, those of us in the know. It's not like we didn't know these things were going to happen. But I must say this. There's always that thought in your mind, especially if you grew up believing that we are in the end of days, right? That biblical prophecy is going to take place in the end times. If you are one of those, of course you knew this stuff was going to happen, but you always had it in the back of your mind that it wouldn't be in your lifetime. Who would have thought that even the possibility of the mark of the beast unrolling, unfolding, opening up right before us? Who would have thought that it would happen in their lifetime? Now, I'm not saying for sure if this thing is the mark of the beast, but you've got to admit that there are certain elements of this that are happening right now that makes you wonder. It makes you wonder what the heck is going on. Now, with all of that being said, all of what's happening, what you do in this time will determine what the next 6 months are going to be like for you, or what the next year is going to be like for you. What you do, that's what else is going to determine that. What you don't do. If you want to continue to sit and twiddle your thumbs and do all of that and burn bridges and blow them up and stuff like that, you're going to be one of those who is going to be in a land of wonder when things finally come crashing down.
Okay. There's some. Yeah. So, well, anybody have any comments on that? Okay.
Yeah, got a question on it though. What is it that the Lord of hosts say that we will receive a mark of the beast?
You don't say that.
That's New Testament. That's
Yeah.
New Testament.
Yeah, that's New Testament. Right. Yeah.
Okay.
Like I was saying,
I'm just thinking. I know she's a two-booker, but she never seen that come out of the words of the Lord of hosts.
Right.
I don't know why she.
Oh yeah, that's prime time Christian thoughts. Yeah, when they saying they putting all kind of stuff in the scripture that the scripture ain't saying.
Right.
You know? That's what they got. That's what they off it. That's what That's how the Gentile and the European thing. They ain't thinking like no Hebrew. You reading the scripture for what it's saying. And at the same time, like I said, what the Most High already engaged you in your mind, and then you connecting dots. Because so much stuff they didn't hear from you that so much stuff they didn't hear. But we got that. We getting that information. So now when you read the scriptures, you got a whole bunch of other pieces to the puzzle over here. And when you read it over there, you're able to connect dots. But, they add to, adding all kind of stuff in there. We don't have nothing to do with nothing. And that's how they ended up with these mystical, fanatical stories they got. Yeah.
Right, because in the book of Ezekiel, when the man got a mark, he the one that was saved, not destroyed.
Exactly. Right.
Hey, but it do seem like they trying to play out what was written or something. To me, it's not seem that way to y'all. Like
Yeah. Well, what I was saying, like I was saying before, we see it's 2 and 70 AD. It was 2. There was Edomites that left, so it's 2 Israels. It's 2 Israel. The fake Israel that left in 70 AD went up into Europe, but the real Israel was already on the west coast of Africa. Yeah, like I said, they're taking it from the Old Testament when they say it was a wilderness. She went into the wilderness prepared for her. That's when they left in 143 and went in the wilderness, went in the West Coast. But they didn't. So what's going on is they didn't wrote their own version of the end times. They playing out their version. They playing their version out.
Exactly. Yeah. They playing their version out. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
And to prove to the world that they the people of the book.
Right. Like I was saying before, it hit me the other day. Okay, you know what we saw where it said, let me read it. This right here, big, man. So I mean Ezekiel 66, Isaiah 66. And it hadn't dawned on me, man. The Most High brought it to my attention. So this is let me see if I'm in the right place. Might not be 66. Where it said the ships of Tarsus. Anybody know what it said in Isaiah? Anybody know what it said?
Hold on, let me.
I thought it was a 66.
Find that real quick.
It said the ships of Tarsus.
No, it's in 60. It's in 60, I think.
Yeah, right. Okay.
I think it's in 60.
Yeah. That's 60. Right. Let me find it. Yeah, here you go. 9. 60 and 9. It says, surely the hour shall wait for thee, and the ships of Tarsus first, to bring thy sons from afar, and their silver and their gold with them to the name of the Lord their God, and to the Holy One of Israel, because he have glorified him. So in 1948, remember they keep showing you all the videos of them coming in on the ships? Ships of Tarsus?
Yep.
Remember that? If you go back and look at the video, they actually playing it out. But then you got the Christian and they all them looking at the book. You know, they looking at it, they said, there it is right there. Yeah. And that's what they came on, with ships. Okay. And they came back. They didn't have to come on ships, but they playing out their little version that they concocted.
Wow.
Yeah. So as far as a whole, but 99% of the world, Israel came back. The nation of Israel is back because they went and got them more verses and then assimilated them like it was the end time. They returning.
And all the time ignoring Jeremiah 29 and 14.
Right.
You can't have one without the other.
Right, exactly. A whole different scenario. Like I said before, it's they got away with it, but now they can't get away with it because, like he said, it's two types of knowledge. You got his knowledge, and then you got their knowledge, and their knowledge, his knowledge trump theirs. And these are men he waking up now. He waking up Israelites whose spirit didn't raise, and that garbage ain't working no more.
And when Israel get back, when true Israel get back in the land, it ain't gonna be no more wars. People
exactly
ever since they've been over there.
Right. That's why it ain't playing out. You can see when you look at it, it ain't playing out like it's, they got little points that they didn't cook with the world with, but when you just sit there and look at it, ain't And like I say, Paul, man, when you finally realize two Israels, and that the synagogue of Satan is the one that left in 70 AD, and they went into Europe. It's all over the history books. They wrote it down. So we know those Edomites that went into Europe. Ain't that where Paul went? So you got to throw him away. If you sitting there following with him and you look at that, come on. He all over there in Europe. What these Edomites is, synagogue of Satan. It's like on the west coast of Africa. Mm-hmm. So you got to throw all that away. You know what I'm saying?
That third beast, when he left the third beast out and put him in Revelation, right? Because all that already happened.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
Right. That's how we get on the west coast of Africa. When the Antioch Epiphanies came, all that already had played out. Jacob's trouble. That's when it started. Yeah.
But that's why the third beast is missing. The
Exactly.
history of that,
Right.
because
Exactly.
that's the link that
Right.
they want you to figure out.
Right. Yeah. That's gonna come up in a minute too in the lesson. What I'm do the Egyptians secrets, Egyptian secrets that's in the Vatican, and how you're gonna see how it ties to the New Testament, and because that's how you get Christianity, Egyptology, Egyptian Book of the Dead, and they fuse it with Buddhism and our the Old Testament.
Right.
That's how you get Christianity. Yeah, let me answer this question right here, or talk about it. So it says right here that I heard California was once an island inhabited by Black Amazons and ruled by Queen Khalifa. They supposedly joined the Muslims and attacked Constantinople. Could these be the daughters of Nimrod? Who was the daughters of Nimrod? That's a new one on me. I'm definitely gonna Google it after this though, but yeah, the daughters of Nimrod. I guess they giants, giant women. Yeah.
Well, that could be what he's applying, because we know those Amazon was big, stout women, you know.
Right. Yeah. Right. Exactly.
That could be what he's implying. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, but I was looking at that. California is over here, right? California over here in North America, and Constantinople was on the African continent.
Right.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Anybody else? I'm opening up for some Q&A. Anybody got anything they want to bring up?
Yes, sir. Zephaniah, chapter 12. No, not Zephaniah. Zechariah, chapter 12, verse 7. I got a question on in chapter 7.
Okay. Verse 7.
Verse 7. Let me make sure I'm in the right place. I'm looking for the verse where he said he should save the tents.
Yeah, that's 7.
First. That's
12,
7.
12 and 7.
Okay. I'm in the wrong chapter myself. That's why I'm messing up. Okay, so 12 and 7. All right, it says, the Lord shall save the tents of Judah first, that the glory of the house of David and the glory of the inhabitants of Jerusalem do not magnify themselves against Judah. So I'm trying to get some understanding on this. I'm gonna give you my understanding, then if you don't mind, just break this down for me. Okay. What I am getting from this is that he's gonna save the open towns and villages on the outside of Jerusalem first, and so that, you know, as to protect them, and then he's gonna move inward towards Jerusalem and save Jerusalem and the sanctuary. Is that correct?
Well, you got to look at it. You looking at this verse right here is talking about the scattered. They scattered.
Right.
So he's coming here to America first and get Judah.
Okay. So this is not talking directly just in the land. He's talking about his people as a whole.
Yeah, this is scattered.
Okay. I thought maybe this was referring to when we get back into the land.
No, he talking about, that's when he talking about the tents. See, he said the Lord shall save the tents of Judah first, that the glory of the house of David and the glory of the house of Jerusalem do not magnify themselves against each other. So that's he's gonna get. He got to bring out Judah first, because Judah is where the lawgiver is. Judah is where David tribe came out of, the king from. So we got to say Judah first.
Okay. So the house of David, we could consider those the kings and leaders, correct?
Yeah. That's first and second Kings, and first and second Chronicles. All the kings is out of David lineage. That's the house of David. Right.
All right. So the inhabitants of Jerusalem could that be considered like the priests and Levites then?
Yeah, that's
the sanctuary piece of it. Like
that's Levi and Benjamin. That's Levi and Benjamin.
Gotcha. Okay. All right.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, that's another thing. Like I was saying, people, I try to bring it out every chance I get. But when you say the inhabitants of Jerusalem, That's the head. That's Judah, Benjamin, Levi. That was the southern kingdom.
Gotcha. Okay.
So when he divided them, what Solomon was doing, he told them, because of David, I'm gonna keep Judah, Benjamin, Levi over here, but the 10 tribes I'm gonna take away from you.
Right.
So that's because of David. Like I was saying, there's no other way to. David can't be nothing but the Messiah. Everything's in around him.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. But the tents of Judah, that's the scattered.
That's scattered Judah. That's here. We know they're in America.
Gotcha.
Right.
Okay.
Okay. Is there something?
Mm-hmm.
Anybody else got something?
Yeah, I got one thing.
What you got?
I heard this from a brother last night. Genesis 15:13.
Okay.
And 14. In 13 he mentioned, stranger in a land.
Right.
And 14 he brought it to a nation. He went from land saying strangers in a land to a nation in verse 14. Is he, to me, he just singling out a one specific place, which I would say America.
Right. The stranger. Right? Well, yeah, he says, and he's at verse 13, and he said unto Abram, know of a surety that thy seed shall be a stranger in a land that is not theirs. So that stranger is Israel.
Right.
But in 14,
yeah.
Right. But 14 is the nation that's oppressing him.
Right.
He says also that nation. Right. Also that nation whom they shall serve. That's the nation that got them oppressed.
Right. Okay.
But in 13, the stranger is Israel, the nation of Israel.
Mm-hmm.
You see that?
Yeah.
Okay.
See it. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Anybody else got anything? Okay, yeah. So right, I'm gonna go into this here. To this to the lesson. It's what it is they showing you all this which a lot of people don't know nothing about this. And like I was saying before, when you understand about the Egyptian Book of the Dead, you got every god that these people concocted, they got a book go with it. Muslims got Allah, New Testament got JC, all records got the Redeemer, the real Redeemer, the Lord of hosts. That's the Savior, the real Redeemer is in the Tanakh. But when the Greeks got hold of our records, and the Medomites, they fuse all that together. That's how they came up with JC, and that's how they came up with Allah and all that. So I'm gonna play this right here, and then we're just gonna I'm gonna be stopping it, and we're gonna be breaking it down as we go. Here we go. What's up? Hello.
Rome, a city where modern lives alongside the ancient. A place that contains secrets of the ancient world. Where modern religion overlaps with the ancient. A symbol of power, 13 to be precise, ancient Egyptian obelisks relocated to Rome.
So notice Rome got 13 obelisks. They transported them from Egypt to Rome. So I let you know right there, if they did that, all that, everything that's going on in Rome is actually come out of Egypt. So that's off the top.
Yet one holy site contains Egyptian mysteries.
Can you hear that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Beautiful art from times long forgotten. Corridors of gods and warriors, and sacred writings inscribed long before Rome had its emperors. Thousands of years before Julius Caesar, Christianity. In the shadows of ancient Rome, what Egyptian secrets lie in plain sight at the Vatican? Founded in 1506, the Vatican's museum holds a huge collection of the art amassed by the Catholic Church and previous popes. A collection of over 70,000 artifacts, of which 20,000 are on display. In a room adjacent to the Sistine Chapel, around the altar dedicated to the Virgin Mary, is an artifact that you wouldn't expect to find. Pope Pius IX had the story of the Virgin Mary's Immaculate Conception, of her becoming pregnant with the Son of God, translated into every language known to man in 1854. He even had the story embossed onto silver in Egyptian hieroglyphs.
See that?
While placing his own.
So you had the story of Mary translated every language in the world, and he had it written in Egyptian hieroglyphics. That's where the story came from. Horus was an immaculate conceived. Isis had Horus by immaculate conception. Well, Cyrus was killed, and his brother cut him up into 15 pieces and buried his body all over different parts of Africa, different parts of Egypt, and throw this phallus into the Nile, and the crocodiles ate it. So when she went and found all the parts, but except the phallus. Then she got turned into a bird, a hawk, and flapped her wings over him and immaculately conceived Horus. That's where the story came from. And so he just told you they got the story written in Egyptian hieroglyphics in silver. They ain't just write it. They wrote it in silver.
Ancient Egyptian royal cartouche. But why would an organization like asked Champollion not to translate the hieroglyphs be interested in ancient Egypt? We are at the Egyptian section in the Vatican Museum. I'm so excited to be here. There's so many amazing pieces, as you can see, from so many different dynasties, all the way from pre-dynastic times up until the Roman period. So I am very much looking forward to showing everybody some of the amazing pieces here at the museum.
So this is the crazy thing about that. Like I said, how they insult our intelligence. You let them tell it. They sold the Greeks Alexander the Great was so great and the Romans so great. Why is you got preserving all these Egyptian? You got all these artifacts from Egypt. If you were so great and your culture was so great, why is you got all this stuff from Egypt? Because you stole it. That's where you get you ain't had nothing for that. That's a big giveaway right there.
Many people think that the ancient Egyptians were obsessed with death. In fact, they were obsessed with life and how they could ensure their next life would be prosperous. Mummification was their way of preserving the body so that the gods could recognize your spirit. Such as this 22nd dynasty noble woman, with her perfectly preserved hair dating back almost 2,900 years. Sharing the same display case is a royal mummy. However, she was not born in Egypt. I've been waiting so long to see her. This is Princess Amenhotep of the 25th dynasty of Nubia, and she was adopted and moved to Thebes and became a high priestess of Amun and Mut. So to see her, it's so amazing. You can see she would have been wrapped with beads and all of her funerary objects. It's so beautiful. And in Florence is actually her nanny's death mask, which is quite huge. So there's been a lot of debate about Princess Amenhotep, whether we should send her back to Nubia, to Sudan, or keep her here. But that's a bit of a slippery slope. I'm so excited to see Princess Amenhotep here. And in Cairo, there is a beautiful alabaster statue of Amenhotep, huge alabaster statue. So to see her, it's quite moving, actually. Beautifully wrapped in linen, her mummy would have been covered with these turquoise-colored beads. In a style dating back almost 1,000 years before Amenhotep, the old kingdom of Egypt, these beads would connect her to the goddess Hathor. Several silver and gold amulets were placed across her body, including her heart scarab, which would be used to weigh her heart against the feather of justice at the final judgment before the afterlife. Her tomb was found in Luxor with many wooden artifacts, alabaster, and gold. A touching statue set of goddesses were placed at the head and foot of her nested sarcophagus. Isis and Nephthys have protected Amenhotep for thousands of years. The main protector of Amenhotep's tomb was the jackal Anubis. He even guarded something that could make Amenhotep's next life even more leisurely. These little figurines are called shabtis. If you could afford it, hundreds of them were placed in your tomb. You could call upon them, sort of like servants, to do the jobs you did not want to do in the next life. Each shabti was given a special spell to entire life. A lady that I've
So what we're looking at is when the Israelites came out of Egypt, Most High told them, he didn't want them bringing nothing that had to do with Egypt out with them. And the ones that did, they ended up getting killed in the wilderness. But these towns right here, they brought everything out of Egypt. And we got it over there in Vatican. That's another sign letting you know that what Christianity is. So they was cut off. The Israelites cut off. They did the same thing. They they brought out Aaron tried to build a calf, the golden calf and all that. But the Most High was there and cut them off. But these clowns wasn't cut off. They brought everything they could out of Egypt, picked it up and relocated it to Rome. And picked it up to the point where we dealing with Christianity today. All this come out. Ain't that something?
Yeah, I see why the Egyptians mad, man. I can see they got a case. I mean, they
Right.
stole all that and they were 1,000 years before Christianity even came on the scene, right?
Right. Exactly. And the average person don't know that. That's why they can go fall for Christianity, because they don't understand all this stuff right here.
Of Ramses II. Statues of queens are usually smaller, unless we think of Queen T or Nefertari. This woman was so amazing, and she's the one who trained Queen Nefertari. And what I love about her statue, she's so huge. Ramses' name is at the top. Ramses had several statues dedicated to his mother across Egypt, from Abu Simbel to Memphis, but this one was found Ramesseum in Luxor. And at the bottom here, we have Ramses' sister and her daughter. Because the statue was damaged when taken to Rome by Emperor Caligula, Henumitra, Ramses' sister on the side, has been given a Roman skirt. Ramses venerated his mother, as to be reborn in the afterlife, you need a mother. She was the great royal wife of Pharaoh Seti I and played an important role in Egyptian politics. It is absolutely incredible to see this amazing.
Okay.
Next on our lineup are the descendants of a Greek man who called himself son of Amun. In 332 BC, the Persians had taken over Egypt. Egypt's salvation would come from a mighty Greek Macedonian conqueror. Alexander the Great. A descendant of Alexander the Great, Ptolemy I became pharaoh of Egypt when Alexander died. When his son, Ptolemy II, came to the throne, he had a co-regency with his sister wife, Arsinoe. And this woman was given an unprecedented title at the time. Arsinoe was named ruler of Upper and Lower Egypt, making her a full pharaoh. When she died in year 15 of Ptolemy II's reign, he decreed that Arsinoe be deified and her statue placed in every temple. The Apis bull was connected to the strength of the pharaoh and was worshipped up and down the land. One specific bull was chosen and placed inside the temple. When the bull died, it would be mummified as a pharaoh and celebrated throughout the land of Egypt.
Let's see, that's what the Aaron was making at the Mount Sinai. The same thing right here we're talking about. It's all lining up. And then I was telling you about Serapis. That's what Serapis means. Bull. Apis. That Apis and Serapis is bull. That's how you get Serapis, which is eventually became when you look at the image of Serapis, and you look at the image of Jesus, same, one and the same.
Yeah. So Rapis is a combination of Osiris and Apis.
Right, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
That's the God that they created long before Constantine came. Then Constantine took that image. That's when at the Council of Nicaea, that's when they made JC.
Right.
Right.
And that's why the folks wanted our forefathers wanted Aaron to make the golden calf because they used
Right.
the Apis.
Right.
They were always worshiping Apis.
Right. And then they carried over. They also carried over to when you go to the story of Jeroboam when he split this when the Mosai took the 10 tribes and gave them to Jeroboam. Well, when he brought Jeroboam back, Jeroboam was in Egypt. He was in Egypt running from Solomon. When Jeroboam came back, he built that other temple down there in the other part of Israel. Them was bulls. That's what they was worshiping. The 10 tribes was worshiping them. Same thing with Aaron and them did at Mount Sinai. That's why he said that Jeroboam calls Israel, the 10 tribes, to see in a grievous sin. Talking about that same thing with Aaron did. He built the temple and put two bulls in there. Ain't that something?
Right. Yeah, and I know a lot of our people don't want to recognize it, but there's an Egyptian influence all throughout the Tanakh.
Oh yeah, right, exactly,
Mm-hmm.
right, because that's the major religion that they put when they concocted Christianity. It's tied to that. It's tied to that. Yeah.
You got to understand they brought all those records that they took out of Jerusalem. They brought them back to Egypt. And those Edomite scribes and Greek scribes, because Greek was the ruling nation of that time. They got those scribes together. They put that Greek and Egyptian influence all throughout the text.
Right. That's what the Library of Alexandria was. It was in Egypt. They had all them records and all that information right there. They started writing books. You know, mixing all that together, writing books. Mm-hmm. That's the books they canonized. Because at the Council of Nicaea, he canonized all those books. And so, like I said before, there was Egypt. They was Greeks. That's why everybody in the New Testament got Greek names. And now they want to come and make all of them, give them Hebrew names. John, Caiaphas, and all they want to change. No, his name John because he's European and because he's Greek. That's why he's named John. Just like Isaiah is an Israelite. That's why his name is Isaiah. So they want to try to merge all that together. No, that New Testament is Greek. It was written in Greek. It never was written in Hebrew. But they want to try to make it out like it's been written in Hebrew. It never was written in Hebrew. That's why it's called the Greek New Testament, because it's written in Greek. It was conceived in Greek.
Yep. The Septuagint. That's what they book.
Right. Exactly. Mm-hmm. And you know, you gotta write. You can't even begin to call yourself trying to deal with that not on a major level if you don't understand that.
Which further lets you know that you have to go to other books to get the truth. It's more. Exactly. It's just not retained in just what we call the Old Testament.
Exactly. Right. Exactly right. You get something? Yeah. So what I'm gonna do right here, I'm gonna get this is like some need to know stuff. I'm gonna play this here and then we're gonna cut it short right here. This got to do with Biden. He doing secretly shipping migrants all around America. They caught him red-handed. I'm gonna play it.
Unshell new claims about the border crisis.
Can you hear that?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
As the New York Post reports, the White House is secretly flying planes packed with underage migrants across the country, jetting them from Texas to New York in the cover of night. All this leading critics to wonder why the Biden administration would need this kind of covert operation if it had nothing to hide. This is Outnumbered. I'm Emily
Notice they said underage.
Ponyo. I'm joined by my co-host Harris Faulkner and Kaylee McEnany, Fox News Headlines 24/7 reporter Carly Shimkus, and in the center virtual seat, Fox and Friends Enterprise reporter Lawrence Jones. Now, the charter flights from Texas reportedly underway since August, with some of the planes touching down in Florida and dropping off dozens of migrants there, before heading to New York to resettle the others, busing them to nearby locations. This comes as leaked documents detail the staggering catch and release numbers under the Biden administration, showing that since the beginning of August, tens of thousands of migrants have been released into the U.S. with little or no oversight. All this as we, as usual, still await the official border numbers from last month. And Senator Ted Cruz says it's clear the president's policies are responsible for the border crisis.
Well, their entire political strategy is based on secrecy. What is happening at our southern border is an absolute tragedy. We've had over 1.3 million people cross illegally. We're on a path to have over 2 million people cross. And Joe Biden and Kamala Harris caused this, and their entire strategy is ignore it. And they're counting on the corrupt corporate media to ignore it as well. So, of course, they fly in the middle of the night because they have no defense.
Harvard expels student over fuel-saving car gadget.
Lawrence, you recently came back from the Texas border. Now, was it common knowledge down there where the migrants were being flown to?
They knew they were going on planes, but they didn't know exactly the origin, the destination that they were heading to. So our people on the ground have long suspected this. Look, as someone that was just there embedded with the Texas Special Operations Unit, they're really the ones that are on the front of lines of this fight. You know, the Border Patrol aren't allowed to do their job, so Texas is doing the arrests and then handing them over to Border Patrol. The big question is, why should the American people care about this issue? Of course, there are laws being broken, but I think the larger conversation is the cartel. This is all a part of the criminal enterprise that the cartel now feel emboldened. They just fired off 2 shots last week at our National Guard. The same pathway that they use to have people pay to play to get across the border is the same way that the drugs are trafficked and human trafficking is going through as well. And right now, the reason why they feel like they can get away with this is because the Biden administration behind the scenes will admit to Border Patrol in Texas that there is a crisis, but when they get in front of the cameras, they say something much different. In Panama right now, there are 30,000 migrants waiting to cross the border, and Texas DPS estimate that they'll cross back to the Del Rio sector or the RGV sector within 3 weeks. So obviously, the Biden administration hasn't learned from the Haitian crisis that happened a few weeks ago. They were warned back in June and did nothing. This is part 2. And if you wonder why Democrat seats that are on the local area of Texas are flipping to Republican, this is the reason. Because it's not a political thing for them. It is about safety. I interviewed a guy crossing the border last week, and when the DPS was processing him, I said, did you get a record? He said that he was deported under Donald Trump. He said, look, the former president just deported me because of my driver's license. We ran his background. He was wanted in 3 states, had domestic violence abuse charges as well, and told me that he was going to go see his next wife. So that's what we're dealing with. Am I saying that all the folks that are crossing the border are criminals? No, but we don't know all the people that are crossing. And I think Americans are frustrated with this issue as well as Democrats as well.
Oh, that's exactly right. So, Carly, let's break this down for a second, top to bottom. So our president is using secret flights to small airports to move unaccompanied illegal migrants, children, right? Yeah. And the reason that he's doing it in secret, one can presume, is so that no one knows about it. And to Lawrence's point, who does know about it are the people in Central and South America. And that's why they are paying smugglers to take their children on this perilous journey north to get onto these planes and then be
So you see that they missing the whole point. You see that? Yep. They in behind the kids. They missing
That's
the
what
whole
I was
point.
thinking about. I was just making sure you was going there because that's what it seemed like to me. They harvesting kids.
Yeah, they missing the whole point, man. They missing the whole point. Ain't this so? Yeah.
Oh, okay. So that's why they sent the Haitians back
Right.
because they was adults.
Right. They straight up in behind these kids. That's why
Right.
that's that's who they are. Like I
Wow.
said. Ain't there something?
Man, wickedness, Leonard.
Oh yeah.
Wickedness.
Oh yeah. Yeah, so nobody got anything else that we can talk? Anybody got anything they want to bring up?
Y'all hear about them? You hear about them missionaries missing over in Haiti?
Yeah, right.
Uh-huh.
Get them some Haitian gang abducted them, right?
Right.
Is that the one where they're asking for $17 million to return?
I think so.
Yeah.
Right. And this song?
Yeah.
Right.
Well, I guess they say, well, hey, if you're not going to let our people in, we're going to take your people.
Right, exactly. And then, yeah, I mean, if anybody fit the description of a migrant needing help, it's them Haitians.
Right.
All the stuff that happened to them, man, all the the president got assassinated and
several earthquakes,
tornadoes, and everything else.
Hurricanes, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's crazy. Man, you secretly flying people all over the United States, but you turning away the Haitians.
I'm telling you, Lynn, this man have such a wicked heart.
Oh yeah,
evilness in his heart, man.
Right,
it's ridiculous.
Right. And that's another thing. Nobody ain't dealing with that. Like I said, they're not dealing with that. This track record. Well, they bring us in the court. That's the first thing they do, bring our record up.
Exactly.
But then when it comes to him, then they ain't looking at the track record,
right?
And deriving coming to a conclusion based on his track record. They ain't doing that. Like I said before, they got this country by bringing infested blankets over here, smallpox and all that kind of diseases, killed the Indian off. And then now they want to know why the same thing happening now on the back end of it.
Right. Well, think about this too. They invited the same man to a dinner and murdered him.
Right.
And call it Thanksgiving.
Right. Exactly. And this song. Oh yeah.
So this country is based on the murder of the indigenous people.
Right.
They made a national holiday out of it.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Right. Making money off of it.
Right.
Right.
And they make you think the holiday is a good day.
Right. Exactly. And like I said before too, with what's going on now, the culling, ain't nothing but a culling. They're killing off the population. Well, they did this before. They killed the Indian off. They came and saw the land, and they wanted the land, but they didn't want the people on the land. So they came up with a plan and killed them all. They ain't nothing no different than now. They came up with some kind of old whacked out disease and they're killing the people off.
Right.
Yeah. I guess so.
I don't know, Leonard. They made I think the vaccine was before the disease. I think the disease was a reason to give them the vaccine, but I guess I shouldn't say that on here. But
right, exactly.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Mm. Right. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So anybody got anything else?
Oh no.
Okay. No. Yeah, we're gonna cut it short right here, man. Yeah. We'll pick it up tomorrow.
All right. Shalom.
Okay.
Hey, real quick, you brothers heard from Mike and Kenneth?
I heard from Kenneth. Kenneth went on vacation.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, he on vacation. He said he was going Black Ops for a couple weeks.
Okay, gotcha.
I ain't heard nothing from Mike.
Okay.
Yeah. What's that, Lamar?
Yeah, I haven't heard nothing from Mike.
Okay. All right, then. We're gonna cut it off right here. Yeah.
Shalom, shalom, brothers.
Yeah. I'm gonna say shalom, everybody. I'll see y'all tomorrow at 7 o'clock.
Shalom.
Shalom.